Welcome in, Chipola Nation. I'm Donnie Tyndall, head men's basketball coach here at Chipola College. We got one of my players here, my point guard slash combo guard, kind of a do-it-all guy, right, Grady?
Yeah.
Grady Williams. Greedy's sophomore for us here in the program. Give you a quick update before we get started with Greedy. Our team's currently 10-1. We're ranked 13th in the country. We've got a big game on the road against Georgia Highlands this upcoming Saturday, and then 2 games before Christmas break back here at home on the 16th and 17th. But with all that being said, Greedy, tell our fans a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you went to high school, about your high school career, etc.
Oh yeah, I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. I went to high school at Sidney Lanier High School, my 9th through 11th grade, and played with my pops. He was my coach there, so that was a fun experience. And my senior year, I transferred to Pensacola Valley in Birmingham.
Okay.
And played under a coach called Coach Darryl Barber, and learned a lot from him too. So the transition from high school, it was a fun one.
Yeah, and then you mentioned playing for your dad,
Yeah.
who your dad was a heck of a player.
Yeah.
Played at the University of Alabama. I was assistant coach at LSU while he was playing at Alabama, and Coach Davis, Kermit Davis, and I always split up the scouts, and every year the scout for Alabama game happened to be my scouts. So I remember your dad. He could shoot that ball, and he was a heck of a player. And tell our fans a little bit. So you played with him up until you through your junior year.
Yeah.
And I know he's a great basketball mind and a great basketball coach. And then what made you transfer for your senior year to the other high school, Greedy?
It was honestly him. He thought it would be good because he wouldn't be my coach forever. So he thought it would be a good transition just to start listening to somebody else instead of having him there the whole step of the way. So he kind of just took like a back seat to saying things to me and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool, pretty cool. I know your dad's been very influential in your career. Tell me this. I just want to know from my own curiosity, how old were you when you finally beat him in a game of one-on-one?
Oh, man. It was a minute. He was scared to play me for a minute. He was staying on the radar. And actually, the last time he played was when we were in Birmingham, and I wasn't there. So he's been hiding for a minute. But last time I probably beat him, we were in the backyard playing 21, me, him, and my brother. So it wasn't like one-on-one.
Yeah.
You know, he's been ducking. But, yeah, 21, that was probably the last time. I was probably around like 12.
12?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure Coach Williams will probably disagree that he was ducking you, but I do know he was a heck of a player, and I'm glad you got to play for him for at least part of your high school career. Now, tell me this. You went to Northwestern State as a freshman, started, I think, 20 games, right, as a freshman at a very good Division I school. They won 19, 20 games, made it the conference title game, right?
Yes, sir.
And he was a big part of that team. That's hard to do at that level as a freshman. The coach took another job, went to Austin Peay to be the head coach there. You had a new coaching staff come in, but you kind of already had made up your mind, hey, I'm going to look for something different. I know you had a lot of different options, both Division I and junior college. What made you pick Chipola, Greedy?
Honestly, you the man, Coach. You the man. I'm not gonna lie. But me and my dad, we sat down and we had a lot of conversations about just like the next step, because you know one slip up can determine like the outcome of your future. So it's like we had a good talk, and honestly, he felt like you were the man. You know exactly what you're talking about, and you just prepare me for it. Wherever I go after this, it'd be like, I don't consider this just JUCO. I consider this like next step in my life. I don't consider it downgrade, upgrade. I mean, it's honestly, basketball is basketball. So
Yeah.
I feel like coming and playing for you was the best idea for my future.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and I certainly appreciated your mom and dad trusting me, and I think your dad kind of knowing a little bit about me probably influenced that decision. And, you know, I say this all the time, and I mean this very sincerely. Probably one of the biggest teaching points of my coaching career was when I spent 4 years in the NBA, and I learned quickly that you can learn as much from the players at that level as the players can learn from you. And I've trickled that down. You know, I got a guy like this and a couple other guys in our program that have played at high levels. They've been there, they've done that. So he's made me a better coach, as most of our players do. So I appreciate you saying that about me, but I also appreciate the fact that there's been some times I've leaned on you and said, what do you think of this, or what do you think of that? And you got a great basketball IQ, so you've helped me become better as well. And then The only negative thus far is he's been a little bit banged up. He had a calf strain that limited him in 2 games, and then unfortunately just rolled his ankle. We thought maybe it was broke. Thank goodness it's not, and he'll probably be out about 3 weeks, but we expect him to be back full 100% after the Christmas break. So he's already had some really big games for us, and leads our conference in steals and is in the top 3 in all categories on our team. So we're going to finish this thing up strong together, right?
Most definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, tell me this. Been at Chipola, you made your decision based on the reasons you mentioned. Once you got here, give me the biggest surprise, the biggest good surprise that you've seen from Chipola. Doesn't have to be basketball related.
It doesn't, but honestly, it is how you run it here. Because I've been to a lot of JUCOs and seen how they run it. This is ran like a Division I program, honestly. Maybe even a lot better than some.
Yeah. Well, I think that, again, goes back to having the right coaching staff, the experiences I've had and where I've been. And we tell our recruits and we tell our players, this is a Division I program. It's technically a JUCO, but we run it just like we did at Tennessee or Southern Miss or Morehead State. And I think that does 2 things. It helps prepare you guys as you get ready for the next step. And I think it also lets the college coaches know, hey, if you played in Chipola's program for our staff and been in those practices and that environment, you're going to walk in the door ready to go. And I think that'll be the case for you as well. So I always give our players a chance to ask me a question. Now, I've asked you a few. You can't get too hard on me now. But you got a question for Coach T?
My question for Coach T is, what size is your ring finger?
What size is my ring finger? I like that. That's a good question. It's a 9, same as my shoe size. So we've got a couple state championship rings since I've been here, but I know what ring you're referring to, and it's a 9. So we got work to do, but you get that etched on your brain, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, couple other things here I wanted to ask Greedy. Give me your biggest team goal and your biggest individual goal as this season is hitting the midway point.
My biggest team goal is easy, to win Hutch.
Yeah.
I think that's what we all came here for. And my biggest individual goal is to probably be MVP of our league, honestly.
Yeah, well, I think those are realistic goals, and we've got to continue to grow and improve as a team to reach the first goal, right? Winning the national title. And I think once we get you healthy, you'll have a real chance to do the other. And so we're looking forward to getting this man back healthy. And I guess the last question, all right, you want to play as long as you can play, right? Most guys do. Hopefully you can play till you're about 36, 38, maybe 40. But when the basketball stuff is done, you've got your education, which he's a great student, by the way, fantastic student. What do you see yourself doing, say, time you're 35, 40 years old on?
Probably after the ball is done bouncing, probably going to a little bit of real estate with my dad.
Okay.
With selling houses and doing things. And after that, hopefully I have enough money to just sit back and relax.
Go to the beach a little bit, right?
Yeah, sit back under the sun.
All right, so if you and Daddy got this real estate company going and it's blowing up, you're making a bunch of money, is it going to be the Greedy and B Realty, or is it going to be the B and Greedy Realty?
It has to be the Greedy and B.
I love it. I love it. Well, this is Greedy Williams, our point guard, combo guard, again, guy that does a lot of different things for our program. We're very, very excited and glad that he's with us here at Chipola. And I know he's going to do a lot of big things down the stretch the second half of the season for us. Again, a couple big dates, December 16th and 17th, our last 2 home games before we go into the Christmas break. And then we'll come back after Christmas, have a few non-conference games remaining before we start conference play that first week of January. We appreciate you joining us, and go Chipola Nation.
Go Chipola Nation. Say those dates.